This is the Sports Timeout Podcast Special Edition with Wes Underwood.
We bring in Sporting Kansas City's first-round draft pick, number 8 overall, Mr. Stephen Afrifa. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. It's been a good day training and just getting ready for tomorrow.
Awesome. Yeah, and before we go ahead and talk about that, we'll go ahead and talk about last season at Florida International University and give the fans a little backstory here. You guys had an amazing season, winning the ACC championship. Then in the second round of the NCAA soccer championship, you guys win in a thriller on penalty kicks against the University of New Hampshire, and then unfortunately lose to Duke in the Sweet 16. But what was it like to play for Coach Russell and see this team be successful in your time there?
Just with FIU, it was a great 4 years for me. It was a project from the beginning when I got there, and looking back on it, I can say that we are heading in the right direction. We started projecting new coaches right when COVID happened, and we set a goal. Kyle brought in the guys that he thought would be able to do that, and it worked out. We've tried to improve on the previous season for last year, and we managed to do that. It was a lot of hard work involved, a lot of dedication from the guys.
Yeah.
And in the end, we managed to improve on the previous season. And going into ACC, it was a new conference for us. And
yeah.
Again, we had all our doubters, and we seen our preseason ranking. It wasn't good, and we kind of used it as fuel and did exactly what nobody thought we could do. And then going on into NCAA tournament, we had the previous year experience of losing in the second round after our first round bye, and it was something we weren't happy with. So
yeah, we
went into it with just the mindset of we got to get past this hurdle that we couldn't the year before. And we managed to do it in the most insane college game I've ever played in. Crazy raining conditions, delayed games, PKs, 13 PKs. It was literally everything you could dream of, and we came out on top, and it was at home, so that was another added bonus.
Yeah, kind of got you prepared for Sporting and being over in Kansas with all the rain.
Yeah.
But also, kind of going off that a little bit, you got to play with your brother Simon quite a bit last season. What was that like for you both?
I would say it was good. I mean, my brother, I'm a very chill person, but I think he's the only person that can really get under my skin. And I think that was the challenge for me, but I love playing with him. Been playing with him since I was a kid and spent a few years away from each other, so just getting that on-field chemistry back together was great. He had dealt with a couple injuries, so we didn't get to have as much time on the field as I would have liked, but it is what it is, and he still has another season ahead of him, so hopefully he balls out.
Indeed. That'd be fun to watch, too. I mean, you get to kind of go at it as a fan now, so.
Yeah.
But season ends late November for you guys. A little less than a month later, you get drafted number 8 overall. What went through your head in that moment, and what was the first thing you did the day after being selected?
It was surreal for me, just because this has been a dream for me since I was a little kid. Obviously, we have all the other sports, football and basketball, with their draft system. And for me and my parents, just our ideas on what I want to do with my life. I want to play soccer. They want me to do school and get a regular job. So it was a compromise to go to school, and through school, I knew the best way of going pro was to be in the MLS draft. So a goal for me early on was get drafted as high as possible, and I worked all 4 years for that.
Yeah.
So just finally being in that moment, it was unbelievable. Just had family and friends around me, and it was a great moment of celebration. Not really much I did the next day. It was simply just go train and just get ready.
Awesome. And all that happens. You finish out your senior year at FIU. Then you sign with the club in late April. How was training for you coming in? And has it been kind of similar to college, or has it been a little bit more challenging?
I would definitely say it's more on the challenging side, but it's very exciting just because the level of play here is much higher than college. So just like for me, the biggest thing was speed of play and just guys being so smart on the ball. Just have to really lock in and just make the right decisions. And obviously with coaching and tactics, everything is a lot more complicated. So just
Indeed.
learning.
It's awesome. And you get to learn from one of the best, and probably a few of the best, actually. I mean, players, but also speaking of your coach, Peter Vermees, who, I mean, had a pretty brilliant career. So and then you get in there a few weeks later, you go see some action. What was that moment like for you, and how did it feel getting back in there?
It was great. I would honestly say I thought I would be nervous in that moment, and I honestly wasn't. I'm not sure why. It was more of excitement for me, just finally getting my first minutes as a pro player.
Yeah.
And an MLS game. And it was just, I had my instructions, just run around and just make sure I brought out some intensity and tried my best.
Awesome. And now we talk about this evening, and the team has performed well over the last couple games. A lot of guys could be down for tomorrow against Austin. How have you prepared for this week? And if your number is called, do you feel ready enough to go in there?
Yeah, of course. We've been dealing with injuries, but we can say that about a lot of teams around the league. It's something that's normal for this time of the season, and it's just making the adjustments, guys stepping up, and I feel like the coaching staff has done very well preparing us for the week in terms of what we have to do to get the result, and I'll be ready whenever.
It's awesome. And you guys have some pretty good momentum going, as I just mentioned. What's the locker room been like this week? Who have you seen step up in light of the last couple of games? I mean, you guys have a lot of leaders in that locker room, but who's the one that stood out the most so far?
Leaders, obviously the vets, always on top of it. Zeus even injured, still up there.
Yeah.
Johnny still helping us with just different things that he sees because he's been in this environment for very long. And yeah, Roger as well, just all the old guys, just the guys that know what we have to do to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, those are definitely guys you want to listen to, that's for sure, because they've had a long career and it's been pretty successful. But last question here. In light of Messi being signed by Miami now, how much more are you looking forward to that matchup in September in Miami and possibly meeting him and maybe even playing against him?
I'd like to start off by saying Messi is my favorite player. So just thinking about this whole situation, another good moment. Playing against Inter again, I get to go back down to Miami if I roster and get to see friends down there, and then back to Messi again. I've watched Messi since I was a child. I've seen him do amazing things, and I'm sure he's going to continue to do the same. Even if he doesn't play this game, it's just a great moment for the MLS, and hopefully it pushes us the league in the right direction.
Is that going to be the one that makes you nervous?
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think the moment of Messi is going to be what does it. I feel like just pressure. Obviously, subbing on in the game that late. Even though the game was 1-1, it was more of just do what you do. It wasn't everyone's on you like you have to perform, you have to do this right. So I feel like that's where a lot of the pressure was off my shoulders in that situation. So
it's awesome. Well, good luck tonight, and congrats on getting your first start in there, or not start, but time in there, and hopefully you get some more. We're looking forward to it.
Working every day for that.
Awesome. Well, have a great day, and thank you.
All right, thank you.